Danielle, and today we are talking medication for your ADHD. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist with ADHD. I was diagnosed as an adult in my early 20s, and I have been treating my ADHD for the past decade with and without medication, and I have some opinions. So let's get started. I recently tried to treat my ADHD without medication for about 6 months, and I knew I wanted to do a video about medication and the pros and the cons of medication. And to be completely honest, what I was really hoping for was to give you guys this like rah, you don't need medication as long as you're doing A, B, C, and D, and you're loving what you're doing and all that jazz. That was the video that like I had in my head, and it was beautiful. That's not this video. It was a rough 6 months, let me tell you guys. It was a really rough 6 months for me. So let's get into it. However you feel, whatever your decision is, it's your decision. It's such a personal choice, and you are the only person who is living your life and dealing with the consequences of your life. So I know it's really hard. I know when I got on medication, I had a lot of people who were very, very, very not for it. They were very concerned. I mean, people who love you, you know, they're concerned about you, and medication seems scary.
What are you putting into your body every day?
And I will tell you, as somebody who lives with something that makes life very difficult on a regular basis, you know, I didn't come to that decision lightly. I don't think anybody likes the idea that they're on something. I think we all have this weird self-esteem thing about, oh, I need something to function like normal people or like everybody else. Whatever, you know, the fact is this makes such a significant difference in my life that, you know what, even if it does take 5 or 10 years off my life, freaking whatever, I didn't need those years anyways. That's, you know what, that's how I feel, okay? Anyways, so alright, for anybody who has tried medication for their ADHD and has had even a semi-successful result with it, will probably tell you that it's life-saving. It is like night and day. It's like putting on your glasses for the first time if you can't see. One of the things that I really notice when I'm on and compared to when I'm on medication, when I'm not on medication, is I have this ever impending sense of doom that's happening when I don't have my medication. And let me tell you why that is. That is because I cannot foresee the whole picture. My mind is consistently jumping to different thoughts before I can even finish my thoughts. And therefore, when your mind is like that, it's really hard for you to see everything in a neat and organized way, and that makes me personally feel as if I never know what the F is going on, ever. Like, I never know what's going on. And it's an awful feeling. So the biggest thing for me that medication does is it provides me, you know, I'm able to see a whole picture, and I'm able to better, okay, you know, here's where I'm at, here's where I need to be, here are some steps in between. Another big pro for medication is it does wonders for your motivation. Usually, if you have ADHD and you're prescribed medication and medication works somewhat well with your system, you're probably going to feel a very big difference in how you feel. That being said, medication does not solve everything. Medication is one piece of the treatment puzzle, okay? There's a lot of other moving pieces that you're going to want to think about. But even though now you are able to focus a little bit better, you are able to see the big picture, you are able to maybe, hold a thought in your mind and process some other things without forgetting this, you still have to learn how to direct your attention. You still have to learn to not focus on stuff that, going down your random internet rabbit holes, for example. All right, let's talk about the cons of medication. Con number one, it can mess with your sleep. And oftentimes these medications are designed so that you can't abuse them. And what that means is they make these mechanisms, these time release mechanisms, so they're designed to take one pill early in the morning so it can last about 12 hours. These are really great drugs. Here's the problem though, you're giving them to people who have a problem remembering things. So if you're like me, you are going to have mornings where it's 10 o'clock and you realize that you haven't taken your medication yet, and now you're faced with, do I take my medication and kind of risk messing with my sleep tonight, or do I just forget it, drink some coffee, and try again tomorrow morning? It's best to pair taking your medication with something you do every day. So brushing your teeth in the morning, breakfast, whatever it is that you do every morning, coffee, put the medication right next to your coffee maker. That's the best way to remember to take it every day. Con number two, these are drugs that accelerate your heart rate. Pretty standard to test your heart to make sure your heart is healthy enough for medication. Con number three, not all medication is equal, and not all medication is going to work for you. Part of the problem with this whole medication piece is you gotta be patient with it. You have to stick with it and figure it out. For example, I will tell you, I was on Adderall for a while. Actually, when I first started taking medication, I started taking Ritalin. I just had the most generic kind of Ritalin because that was what my insurance could afford. Eventually, I got another job, I got some better insurance, saw a new doctor, and this doctor prescribed me Adderall. Again, this was back in my 20s, and I loved it. The first time, I was like, what? This shit is the bomb. Anyways, so I, taken Adderall for a number of years. When I got pregnant with my daughter, when I was pregnant and breastfeeding my daughter, I had to stop. So I had a number of years where I went without medication, and when I finally went back to get on medication again, I requested Adderall, as that was what I had before. And my experience as a 30-something-year-old woman taking Adderall was not nearly the same as it was. I had a really difficult time sleeping. I had kind of heart palpitations. It was for whatever reason, it was too much for me. I became angry. I was angry, like at the end of the day. All in all, it just wasn't working for me. So at that point, I tried to go sans medication for about 6 months. It was not a good look. To be completely honest, I gained a ton of weight. I was fairly depressed during it. It was really hard. When I got back on medication, I told my doctor that the Adderall, I don't know what the deal was. Before it was working for me, it doesn't seem to be working now. My doctor confirmed that that's super, super normal, that happens all the time to people, and she even told me, hey, you might find this medication I'm prescribing you right now in 6 months might not be working for you then either. So this is why it's very important that we meet often and that we talk about these things. These drugs are heavy duty and you gotta monitor them. So she prescribed me Concerta, and oh my gosh, it's so much better for me. I eat really normal on it. I sleep fine. The only thing that's really different is it's just easier for me to attend to what I need to attend to. You really have to figure out what works for you. Let's get to some non-medication workarounds. If you do not want to try medication, your best bet is exercise. As a solid exercise routine will do freaking wonders. A solid exercise routine will do freaking wonders. And if I was you, I would plan to try to exercise before whatever activity, whatever your work activity. So, you work your 9 to 5, try to get up in the morning and exercise, and you'll probably find that your 9 to 5, or at least that first part of the day, is going to be much, much easier for you. Your diet is really, really, really important as well. Try to cut out as much processed foods as you can. Try to eat lots of fruits, vegetables, protein, especially early in the morning. A protein-heavy breakfast is really great for ADHD. Using some kind of organizational system. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you use it. So if it's something, with your phone or your tablet or whatever, that's cool. I personally, I used to be able to do that, but now, I don't know. I don't know if it's just that I've done too many drugs in my day. I don't know if it's that I'm a mom now. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting older. But what I do know is that what's working for me is to have a whiteboard posted onto my I'll show it to you guys sometime. I have a whole whiteboard, and it has different sections of my personal stuff, my website stuff, my other business, having that on the wall, a place that I can't lose it, and it's right in front of my face all the time. And then I have a calendar right next to that, and visiting that every day, several times a day, is a big thing for me, and it's been helping keep me on track lately. So, I guess that's it for now. Thank you.